All right, welcome into Stadium in Maine. It is episode 13, I believe. It's 13 or 14. I don't know. I can't really keep track. We've got new episodes coming out every week throughout the football season. We are teamed up with Blue by 90. Make sure you share this pod with all your friends so we can keep this thing going. And then you can follow us on Instagram, Stadium and Maine Pod. We have so much to get to. It is the week, and there's a reason that the recording is coming out just a little bit later this week. And as you can see on the screen, it's because we have Brandon Graham joining us, a Michigan legend. We will get to him in just a little bit. So we had to work with his schedule, but we are at it, and we are going to get going on this thing. Chris Wormley, I'm going to start with the shirt. You had that custom made or what?
No, man, they had it on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
$20, came in 2 days, and I figured it was a perfect time to pull it out.
All right. No, listen, I love it. Is that like I mean, obviously everybody will always associate you with that play when JT was obviously very short on that fourth down call. Is that like your Ohio State Michigan memory that will be ingrained in you forever?
I mean, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's I think this may be a little bit of self-torture, like continuously reminding myself about that play, that game. That was probably one of the funnest games I ever played in until that last play. It was ups and downs and everything that was at stake at that time. I think we were 3 and they were 2, and it was for the to go to the playoffs for us for the first time and go to the Big Ten championship in 12 years. So there was a lot riding out. LeBron James was in the building. I remember him being on the sidelines with some of the Cavs players. Current teammates, or not current teammates, but Cam Hayward was on the sidelines. I remember him talking about that when I was playing for the Steelers. So there was a lot of high-profile people there, and it was a huge game for both programs. And it's one of those things that people ask about. People, I every time I see an Ohio State player, I ask them about it. That was there, and it's one of those things that will live with me forever. Like I said, I think it's a little bit of self-torture putting the shirt on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get it. And for context for people that maybe don't know, Worm was the guy on the tackle. I mean, you were literally the guy that had JT Barrett wrapped up. And you were the guy that was in on that tackle. So if anybody had a good look at it, probably not. I mean, listen, you're not going to you can't give like a fair, honest opinion on this thing. Let's be honest.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but like you had as good a view as anybody on that thing. It was. But that was like one of the more heartbreaking potential ways to lose that game. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened before that game. Before that play, there was, we had a pick six and we fumbled on the goal line and another interception, and us as a defense didn't stop them when we needed to. A few series before that, so there was a lot of things that were building up that we could have ended the game a lot sooner, and we didn't. And you look back 9 years, and it shoulda, woulda, coulda. But now, the boys are a 4-game win streak. They haven't beaten the Wolverines in, I don't know, whatever the ticker says now, but a couple thousand days, which is always fun. So yeah, it's on the up and up for the Wolverines these last 4 years.
It's like 2,880 something days, maybe, I think, is since the last time Ohio State beat Michigan. So listen, we have a ton to get to tonight. We're going to touch on the Maryland game very quickly. To be perfectly honest, like, I get it. Nobody gives a shit about the Maryland game anymore. Like, there are so many bigger things. That's why, like, when I sent you the rundown, you can see, like, normally, I give you the rundown and there's all this stuff about the last game. It, like, literally just doesn't matter, to be honest with you.
All that matters is this game, because the season's riding on this game. There's everything that they want is right there, and it's all going to come down to, Saturday at noon at the Big House.
No question. I called it a no bullshit win against Maryland. I think that was one of those we'd been waiting for. And it felt like eerily similar to last year. The game before Ohio State against Northwestern, Michigan came out and absolutely drilled them. And, there's that fear of potentially overlooking a team before you play Ohio State. There was none of that with Michigan. I thought they came out and played a really good game. Bryson Cusdell was terrific. I mean, 20 carries, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. For a 2-star walk-on. I mean, it was I thought a very impressive win. just because of everything that was at stake. Not that Maryland's great or anything. It was a good win because of everything that was at stake.
Yeah, I mean, the performance they had 2 weeks ago against Northwestern was, we talked about it, unacceptable. And I know that they wanted to come out and prove to people that they could, beat up on a lesser opponent, and they did that against Maryland. Would have loved to see Zavada get, make that kick. I got a lot of crap this week for, even questioning should he be benched. But I think for the rest of the team, they played great. Gusdol impressed me a lot. It was fun to watch him run all over the place. I give a lot of credit to that offensive line and Grant Newsom, the O-line coach, because whoever seems to be back there as a running back, they seem to have 100-yard performances whenever they touch the ball. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, right now, let's be honest, the offensive line is mashing, and that is the thing that everybody, I think, we're looking forward to coming into this week as well. So let's start to get into it. Let's start looking at this thing. I think the good news is it looks like Jordan Marshall is going to be able to play. As good as Bryson Cusdell was, it looks like Jordan Marshall is going to be able to play. When you're going from Jordan Marshall to Bryson Cusdell and to Bryson Cusdell and Jasper Parker, he's an Ohio guy. He's a guy who runs really, really. That's a good thing for Michigan to have a guy like that back there. So I think getting him back, Max Bredesen is, I mean, he is the epitome of a Michigan man. And it absolutely broke my heart to see him on crutches the other day. But that dude is going to try everything he possibly can. It's going to be like a Chad Henne situation where he was like, listen, give me a shot before the game and like just find a way. Like, I'm playing. It feels like Max Bredesen, if anybody can play through something like that, it's got to be him, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's, like you said, he's a Michigan man through and through. He's going to want to leave his mark as a senior, beating Ohio State, being on that field, and doing everything that he can to be healthy for that game on Saturday. I know he's probably in the training room right now. I know those trainers are probably staying late afterwards, trying to make sure that he is healthy, whatever his injury is. He's ready to lay it out on the field, not just for himself, but for those teammates that he's played with these last 4 years, and to get another signature win at Michigan.
Speaking of playing hurt, you are playing hurt tonight, Worm, and we're proud of you for muscling through this thing. So if anybody's wondering why Worm doesn't sound great tonight, he's playing hurt tonight, and he's doing that for us, and we appreciate that. Because listen, when it comes to the game, you just got to find a way, right?
Listen, those guys, pain and injuries and all that are real. But yeah, I've been sick, man. The last, my daughter came home about a week ago sick, and it just kind of trickled down. And I'm fighting through it, but I think I'm on the up and up now. It's just the voice and kind of the sore throat and all that stuff. But it's I'm managing.
But it was also your first week back in an NFL locker room in a while, and how are you holding up physically? That's what I want to know after about a week back in an NFL locker room with the Indianapolis Colts. How are you handling things? How are you holding up?
Yeah, I mean, that first day is pads on Wednesday. So later that night was pretty sore getting off the couch. Wake up the next morning feeling like crap, and then I'm also sick on top of it. But it was just so fun. It was just so cool to get back with the guys, and you're talking shit, you're talking trash, you're game planning, you're watching film, you're doing all the stuff that these last 10, 11 months I really missed, and you don't really understand it until you're away for it for so long, and then it's like, oh, you get the call, you go work out, you drive to Indy, and now you're practicing. So it's been a fun week, and I'm just excited to continue with these boys this next month and a half of ball, and maybe we'll be playing the Eagles in the Super Bowl here in about 2.5 months.
Absolutely. You know what? That's a perfect segue, and I think if anybody can understand what you're going through, it's Brandon Graham, who we're going to bring on right now. BG, so good to have you on. We appreciate you doing this. Can you kind of understand what Worm is going through, having decided to retire, and then, oh yeah, you came back and threw on the pads again? Can you kind of understand what he's going through right now, his first week back?
Man, I felt you so much on that one, boy, because that first week, oh my goodness. And for me, this was my first time coming off, where I just jump into the season, where I don't get training camp. I've been training, but it ain't nothing like that football training.
Not even close.
Dog, it's funny because you put yourself through what borrow this and do all that.
Yeah.
Then it's like Yeah, he got you a little bit, but man, it ain't nothing like hitting people and striking.
Not at all. Yeah, Dan Moses can put me through all the running and the hypertrophy and the bikes and all that, but nothing comes close to strapping it up and just running into a double team.
I'm telling you, into a double team, and then got to do it again. Then you
Yep.
talking trash, like you said, and then being able to be in condition for
Oh
that.
yeah, it's another level.
I love it. I love it. All right. Brandon Graham, a Michigan legend, joining us, and it's Ohio State week. It is the week. I'm gonna get it out of the way, and I have to mention it. You weren't able to beat Ohio State. How much does that still sit with you after all these years?
Well, I'm 4-0 now, man. We four game win streak. Hey, we win, we all win. Hey, but you know what? Not being able to do it was in two close games where we was number two, number one. That was when Troy Smith was there.
Yep.
Then Crable got a pass. They caught a late hit on the
I'll
quarterback that
never
got the
forget
first
it.
down. But
Yep.
man, 42-39. Man, that was a heck of a game, boy. We was in there. That was my freshman year, and
Yep.
I only played 3 snaps in that one, but I was just learning from a lot of people like Lamar Woodley and them, and it was cool to see like all them boys just fight to the end. And we, now it would have been a playoff, but we ended up going to the Rose Bowl. We lost the last 2 games, Ohio State and then to USC,
Yep.
and they end up losing. I think to Florida that year. Ohio State, I want to say, yep, they lost to Florida that year. But yeah, man, it was some good times. And then the next year we lost 21-10, I think. That's what it was. Or 14-7. The next year. And then after that, Chip Kelly, not no, Rich Rodriguez, I'm sorry. Rich Rodriguez
Yeah.
was a little rough. It was a little rough.
You were right in the midst of that. You went from a guy who
Mhm.
was brought in under Lloyd Carr, and you were in the midst of the Rich Rod era for a
Mhm.
couple years. What was that transition like after being at Michigan for a couple years and having him come in?
You know what's funny? My pro career like mimicked the same way almost because all right, so I had a legendary coach with Coach Carr. Then you get a young and up and coming with Rich Rodriguez because he's doing what he's doing with because he just brought that younger style. He just I mean he just was hip to a lot of stuff, and he changed Michigan traditions a little bit, and he was messing with all that. That's why he only lasted 3 years because he was trying to change too much. But when I got to the league too, I had a legendary coach with Andy Reid. Then we go to Chip Kelly, but that was like a younger version. But then Doug come, and then we won the championship. And Doug
Yeah.
was like a younger Coach Reed because he came up under him. So it's kind of cool just how everything kind of transpired. But yeah, Rich Rod, he was in over his head with that one, man. When he came here, so he was trying to change a lot of stuff, and they was letting him do some stuff, but some stuff it was like we got it now. You know how we got the all blue and the change of the uniform and stuff like
Yes.
that. Yeah, like that's what he wanted to do, and they wasn't feeling that at first. And I remember just people just talking about like, yeah, he ain't gonna last long, man. He trying to do all this stuff. This is a traditional school, and it's like if you a Michigan man, you know what that's all about. And he really wasn't a Michigan man for real. He should have stayed where he was at. Mhm.
BG,
Not in a bad way
BG,
though, because I like
No,
I
yeah,
you're
like
good.
Rich
You're
Rod.
good.
Rich Rod was good, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. You're good. Go ahead,
BG. I
Worm.
want to go. I want to go back to your decision to come back out of retirement. So
Hmm.
I'm sitting in one of these lecture halls at Michigan and at MSBC,
Oh yeah, let's go.
which is Michigan Sport Business Conference, like a month and a half ago or whatever. And
Yep.
it's you, CC Sabathier, Duncan Robinson, and Mike Tannenbaum, and you guys are on this panel talking
Hmm.
about private equity and venture capital and just investing in the sports world. And someone asked you like, "What do you like about being retired?" You're like, "Oh man, I got all this time with my family, and I got to hang
Yeah.
out and all this stuff and all." And then literally like not even 36 hours later, I see Adam Schefter like Brandon Graham is talking about coming back to the Eagles, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, what the hell? Like I'm sitting listening to BG talk about life after football, and he's over here trying to play again. So how the hell does that happen? I know it was maybe a month or so probably beforehand,
Hmm.
but how does that happen? Because you were talking about more time with the family and all this fun stuff.
Oh yeah, you know what, man? Going out like when I went out, we win the Super Bowl. It was so busy this off season, and it was fun, man. And I really was dealing with it. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm doing all these different things. Winning the Super Bowl just prolonged the inevitable of me having to deal with. Okay, the lights are off now. It's like
Mhm.
football. You got to watch it now. It's not like now you got to do some media stuff. You're doing your podcast. It's like you got to get used to loving this new journey that you on and all this stuff. But when one he called me in August, right before the first game, and was like, "Hey, man, if you want to come back, it's a spot for you because we miss you out here pretty much." And so I'm like, you know what? I'm like, all right, man, look. I'm a really work out. I've been working out, but I'm a really work out because it wasn't like I wasn't not coming to the facility. I was still up there. They had gave me a locker or whatever in the staff locker room, and it was cool. Just kind of, I call it my country club. Had my locker, got my code still working, going to eat that good food, and getting the workout in. But that's what I was doing, just working out. People told me to kind of just hang around just to see because of how he does that. But I ain't expect them to, do it for real because it got close to the season. Training camp went by. I was just like, man, he ain't calling me. It's all good. I can't wait till the first game come, and then we gonna do it. But he called me that week of the Cowboys first game that Thursday night. And then we ended up talking. I was like, man, give me like 2.5 months. And before the bye week, we can talk then. And then I prayed about it. The weeks go by. I'm working out up there. We working working out at my place and doing little stuff, trying to make sure I'm right. And then Zadarius, he just retired. And man, he had my locker too. He had my old locker that I
No
had for a
way.
while. Man, and it was just like, man, is this a sign? You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, like cause I had told him that, like, hey man, we gonna play. We gonna play together. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about it. He was like, for real, all that. And so the next question was for me was like, man, if I do come back, how would he want to change lockers with me, get my locker back? And man, when he abruptly just retired like that, I was like, wow. I was like, man, I was like, okay, God, I feel like that's what he was leading me to do. And man, it was just like a match made because I did want to come back. Felt good. He I didn't want to leave in the first place. I just wasn't going nowhere else. And so he told me to retire, go out on top. And I'm like, okay, cool. And but when I got that call, it was something that I definitely wanted to do, but I wanted to make sure I didn't want to look bad going out there, going, how it is. Like right now, coming off the streets, you got to get your training camp, your little couple months, well, like a month for real, like a couple weeks for real, to where you feel like yourself. And so that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I've been 4 weeks, 3 weeks in. I feel like now I'm getting my feet under me for real, and now it's just just grinding.
Grinding. That's real.
hmm The journey.
Uh,
We back on the journey, baby, because you don't know what's gonna happen. I love to meet you there, boy. That'd be cool because you on a good team, boy, with them coats too. You know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying? I like Shane. Shane was with us when we lost in
Oh,
22,
that's true.
and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then he ended up coming there, and I mean he was a great play caller, making Danny Dimes look real good right now. Then that boy JT, oh my goodness, I know you
The
see it
special man.
firsthand now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes,
That's
yes. It's
crazy. Yeah.
fun. It's fun, man. That's how I felt with Saquon last year. It's the same
Yep.
thing even this year. We gonna figure it out. It's just part of the journey. hmm
I love that I'm just getting to sit over here and listen to this. This is good stuff. Um, I'm gonna bring you back to this Michigan Ohio State thing. It was a few weeks ago. You were on the sideline in the big house, just chilling, watching
Yep.
football. How much Michigan football have you been able to watch over the last year or so?
Well, you know what? I've been watching. I watch every week. I'm always day before Friday. I'm gonna have on all my Michigan gear. Saturday that morning, have my Michigan gear. It don't stop. You always checking in on them. I'm loving this though. This is what I'm loving, like what y'all was talking about earlier. I'm loving how they played against Maryland because I thought that was gonna be like that was gonna show me a little bit before you get to the Ohio State game, like how they play certain people, not trying to look past them. But I felt like they came out there and played good, and they getting better every week. That running game is crazy, man. You see them backs. It don't matter who back there. They figuring it out. I mean, man, they got that run game going good, and this is what I said. Like we could to control the game with our run game and run on the boys and then make some critical errors on defense because I feel like defense we dial up some good blitzes, we hold up in the back end, man, we get some stops, and then you get the boys on offense rolling, man. I feel like we can win a close one. We can definitely win in a close one.
I'm right with you. I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask both of you guys this. So, with this 4-game winning streak Michigan has, is there something to having a mental edge over Ohio State? Like, is there something to that where if you're in a game late and Ohio State starts to think, uh-oh, like they might get us again. Is there something to that, like as a player?
Whew,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, it is. Because even for them 4 years that I lost, I thought, man, if we, oh man, if they, oh, here we go again. Like you will start saying them little words, and it start getting your head, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
want that. You really don't want to have that negativity, popping up in your head because you got to fight against that. Because this ain't last year, but I know if y'all, you know how it is. It's like, dang, and I know last year they didn't think that they was gonna lose straight up
Oh,
because I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, I don't know, and I was scared. I was scared last year. I'm a little scared this year, but I feel that we getting better every week. And I love how Sharon just having these boys right, and I think they have a good game plan going in with a good coordinator and Wink, coming from the pros. I think he'll dial up some good stuff, and they've been waiting on this game, so they throwing the whole kitchen sink at them.
Warren, what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember, even like these last 4 years, like Ohio State, they were in it all 4 games, they were in it. And then there was just something that
Mhm.
at the last, that fourth quarter where, Diamond Edwards breaks a run, or, they throw a pick to
Mhm.
Rod Moore to seal the game. There was all those things that like just Ohio State, like they just made one mistake. And it wasn't like they played a bad game. They just made, one critical mistake at the end of the game. And I go
Yep.
back to when I played, and like there were times where like we would be in the game and we were just like waiting to make a mistake. Or like I was just waiting,
Yeah.
like, okay, is our offense going to make a mistake? Are we on defense going to, like, when is this mistake going to come? Because it almost seemed like too good to be true that we were like competing with Ohio State.
Yep.
In reality, it's like, you put your shoes on. That's the kind of the same thing that all these coaches say is you put your shoes on the same way, you put your pads on the same way. It's not like we were scared, but like at the same time, when you're going on an 8-9 game losing streak to your biggest rival, it's like, okay, here we go again. Something's going to happen, and
Yeah.
that's a
That's
bad place to
true.
be. That's a bad
That
place
is a
to be.
bad place. That's a bad place to be. Like in their case, they got to get some gold. They trying to get gold pants, and in our
Yeah,
case, we trying to win a division. We trying to make sure because at the time it wasn't no two sides. It was just one side, and it always came down to us. At the end of the day, it was always that. And yeah, man, it always got in our head. Got in mind for sure when you looking at the score. You like, oh, come on, y'all, come on. I know exactly what you're talking about on like the mistakes because we got blew out my third year when Rich Rod was there, and we was down 14-7 the first half, and then we ended up losing 40 something, 42 whatever it was. I think we scored one more time, but that was it, 14. And it was just like, dang. And then even in the one that we lost my senior year, we lost 21-10. We was in it for a minute, and they just seemed to make the play on third down or fourth down because they went for it and got they did like a screen, a middle screen with the running back. Man, I was like, I just couldn't believe how the ball just went right over our heads. We chasing at the
Oh,
Terrell Pryor, and he threw it right over our heads in a middle screen, man, running back screen, and just ran right in. I was like, wow, on fourth down. So yes, it's gonna be in their mind. They talking about it right now on all the stuff that went down. And so hopefully we can start fast so that they can start down themselves.
yeah. I mean, you look at it and you think there's not a single person in the Ohio State locker room that has ever beat Michigan. and there's not a single person in the Michigan locker room that has ever lost to Ohio State. So,
Right.
I mean, is there some sort of like mental thing that you would have to think so? So yeah, you're hoping that Michigan can come out and jump out to an early lead. I want to ask you, BG, what was your first like introduction to the Michigan Ohio State rivalry? Obviously, you knew about it growing up and stuff, but like actually getting into it, what was your first like kind of memories of that game?
You know what? The night before, really, the week of yeah, it's that week. Everybody getting all hype, but that night before, when you got all these people that come in for the team meeting, the highlight video where you got that's the longest highlight video of the year right here because they going over all the history. They made a good one where you just feel it and you can hear it from the music they playing to all the stuff. So I think my first year. I got introduced that night before at the team meeting. It was just like, oh yeah, this real because we got all these former guys that's in here. Then we got this big old highlight tape that that you ain't. This is my freshman year, so I don't really. This is my first time really like experiencing all that because you getting on the schedule. We never did that in high school. It was just more when I got to college. We started getting on that type of schedule and team meeting that right before the game, before we go to bed. We watching the highlight tape. If we win and it's always the previous game that we played. But this one was just got its own. It don't matter what you played before them. Ain't none of them highlights up. It's more about Ohio State, Michigan, and what you guys have done. What's the track record between the two going back to Buddy? All them boys, them old school days with Schembechler and all that up to now. And man, I know it's still the same way.
Worm, what was your first memories and like your first time stepping on the field in one of those games?
Yeah, I mean, just when you come out that tunnel, I mean, that's when you come out of the locker room and you're both right there. And I think there's a video out there, and it's like Jake Ryan is talking a bunch of crap,
Yeah.
and you got to hold everybody back. And I mean, we had a brawl I think in 2013 or 14, and a bunch of people got ejected on both sides. So like that's what I remember is like just the hostility and like I'm from Ohio, so like I've known about this rivalry my whole life, but not until you put the pads on and you're actually a part of it on either side. I think you really get an idea of like what that is about because it's people's I mean legacies and livelihoods and whether you get a ring or not. It's like there's so much that rides on that game for so many years and for so many people that it's one of those things that I don't know. Like you got to be a part of it, and it sucks that I think about it a lot. That's why I'm wearing this damn T-shirt that I
Yep.
never that I never beat Ohio State. And
Me too.
that'll stick with me, man. That shit hurts.
You talk about the hostility. BG, you're like maybe the greatest shit talker of all time. I think people would probably give you at least you're at least like on the Mount Rushmore of guys that chirp during a game. We've all seen like the mic'd ups and things like that. Where does that come from? Like where did you when did that start for you?
You know what? I probably just had to say my dad because he still talks stuff. Even with me being on the field. Because I remember when I retired, he was just like, "Hey man, like who we gonna talk stuff now to?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk stuff on that golf golf course." It's like you better get with me because I'm about to get my shot together and we'll go out there and start talking stuff. But yeah, we talked about that. I think it's more for my dad because he played basketball. That was his thing, and he went to college playing basketball on the scholarship. And yeah, he just didn't go to the pros because he just was off into everything else. But yeah, it was cool to know that that's where it come from because it just happened naturally for me coming out, and it just started to become a thing as I continue to grow. But it was just I think it was I know it started with my dad, especially on how he is even still to this day, and I just kind of picked it up.
How much of it is just trying to get under somebody else's skin and like or how much of it is like personal stuff? Like how much are you just trying
Yeah,
to get into people's head?
you know what? I ain't trying to have nobody looking for me after the game for real. It's more of on the field. But I mean, sometimes you get a little personal if you know somebody for real. Not even like trying to throw them out there or nothing like that. But it's just like, yeah, Like, I know you soft for it. I seen how you work out. Like, you ain't trying to come in. Like, just little stuff that you say. If me and Worm out there, and I see Worm don't really be working out like that, but it's like, man, you ain't even in shape, boy. You ain't ready for me. Or that type of stuff. It's just stuff that come to your head. I remember, one of the guys, what's his name, Donald Penn. We was just talking about this one. The Popeyes chicken sandwiches was coming out at the time, and everybody was going crazy, and the lines was long. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to whoop your butt because I know you've been eating on them Popeyes chicken sandwiches, and I know you slow." Just like little fun stuff. But I ain't looking for. It ain't nothing really crazy that I'm going after. It's just more of a distraction because if you worried about me, you ain't gonna worry about every little thing that you got to do, the details.
I got a personal story of BG. Not so much trash talking, but this was 2000. This is 2022. We're playing the Eagles. I'm on the Steelers, and we're getting our ass kicked. It's like I think we lost the game like 38-3,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
we're we finally drive. We're driving whatever. We're about to kick a field goal, and I'm on field goal protection. And as a D lineman, like I'm not really into like the cadences and all that stuff. So I'm lining up. BG's over there. We're getting kicked. We're getting our butts kicked. I get down in my stance, and BG starts barking. He's like, oh,
yeah.
and I and
And
I
he
and
jumped.
I
And
and I
he
jumped,
yeah.
and I'm like, I'm like, I'm trying not to get no penalties and nothing. And I jump, so
Yeah.
the ref comes over and he's like, I don't know what the right call is, but BG got the penalty because he was
Yeah,
barking.
I did
He
because
got
I'm not supposed to make any like huts or like no
Yeah.
noise
a false
for they
cadence,
cadence.
Yeah.
But they
but
got me though.
I thought it was me, and I'm like, man, there's no way I'm about to get like we're already getting our ass kicked. Like I'm about to get destroyed in this meeting on Monday.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
BG got. I was like, oh, thank God. So I had to say something back to him, but like,
He did right after too.
like
I was about to say,
yeah,
boy, because he really didn't know at first, but then when he found out, he's like, yeah, yeah. I know that's pressure though, boy. Trust me. When this was a quick story too. Like when I really started taking special teams serious, because when I first got to the league, the first 4 years or 3 years, I didn't play at all, other than field goal block. And then Chip Kelly come and he made me play all four. So what you saying right there, I didn't take it as serious, and I was just like, man, I can't believe they got me playing these special teams. They want me to do this and that. And so I end up getting a punt block. And boy, when I tell you that next day in the team meeting room, I got cussed out. And boy, I got scared straight after that one because I ain't never want to get embarrassed like I did. Because I really didn't know who my man was. I just was just trying to block whoever kind of came in my area. And boy, they did this nice little twist game, and we was getting blew out already by Denver, out in Denver. And man, this one Tristan Holiday was Trendon Holiday, or well, I think it was Tristan. But yeah, either way, he came and ran a kickback on us, and then we get the punt block. And oh boy, scooping and scored to end the game, and they was already up 40 something to 14. It was crazy. Yep. So
made you
yeah, I know
study
what
that.
you're saying.
Huh? It made you study that playbook a little better.
Oh yeah, hey man, it changed my career for real because I'm like, you know, I want to be at the time. Chip Kelly wasn't really for me because of my size, and he wanted like Deion Jordan and all them like 'cause they was like 6'5" and up. He was like big people beat up little people. That was his whole little thing, and so I know for me, I'm like. Man, I don't want to play these special teams. I want to play defense or whatever. And I remember Jason Peters and Trent Cole used to be like, look, man, you getting on the field. Like you need to appreciate just that and all that and just kind of talking me straight. And I started taking special team serious. And man, when on kickoff, I used to have that chip on my shoulder, like somebody gotta pay for this. And I'm running down, busting the wedge, and it just turned into a thing where people after the game, when somebody came up to me like, hey man, my coach said, hey man, we got to block 55, 55, the wedge buster and all this little stuff. And when oh boy, they fed my ego a little bit, and it was just like, oh, for real? Y'all was thinking about me? Okay. And every week it became like a thing where everybody just looking at me on kickoff. And it was just fun, man. And that's why I tell people now, it's like, look, you might get to the league and it might not look exactly like you thought it would look in your dreams, but man, you here. And so that's what it gave me, a reality check. And I was so thankful for the moments that I did, because it still kept that chip on my shoulder to even now. Like, I know that they asked me to come back and I'm thankful. But when I'm out there, I want to perform. I want to be able to help the guys and serve and, help them get to their next level. And for me, man, I try not to take these moments for granted, even if it don't look like how you think it should look, what thought it should look, because of what you dreamed about. It's like, man, we here. I'm thankful to be on this journey. I know what it feel like to be out of it now, and know, like, man, I do love this chaos. It's chaos. This
Oh yeah.
our league is chaos, and it's like we problem solvers and we trying to figure it out, and that's just what we do. And so, yeah, man, you thankful for these moments that you do go through, because now looking back on it, it's something that really propelled me with my mentality now, to never take things for granted. And that's why I feel like stuff happened to me early on, where I got hurt early in my career, because I wasn't really taking it as I'll just say, as serious as I do now with my regimen and how I prepare and all that stuff. Now it really helped me.
I want to ask you. I mean, listen, there's going to be a day where football is going to be officially
Oh
done.
yeah,
Like,
oh
like
yeah. I know, I know.
it's coming. Father Time is undefeated. Um,
For real, I can see it now.
uh, are you going to go do TV? Are you going to get into coaching? What are you going to do? Like, you have to do something. One of those two, right?
Yeah, well, I was doing, Good Morning Football, and then I'm doing my podcast. I like the
Yeah.
podcast because it's once a week. I get to spend a lot of time with my family, for real. Like, everything I was saying, for real, that's what I was doing. I'm still enjoying it. But when they called me back in August, I was working out, and I just couldn't wait to finally get up off of that information, because everybody kept asking, "Well, how's retirement?" It's like, only if you knew. I'm about to sign tomorrow. Like, when I was at that Michigan Washington game, I knew, all I kept hearing is, "Man, you looking great in retirement, man," all this other stuff. And I'm like, "Man, I signed tomorrow. Y'all gonna know." And sure enough, on that Sunday morning, Adam Scheffner, he leaked it. He leaked it, because we were supposed to do it on Monday, but he got to be the first guy. And I know the team did it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Oh
what they do.
yeah.
Yeah, Sheffy's always got to be for. Does
Yeah.
is coaching something you even want to consider, or is it going to be the TV thing? Right?
What a coaching could come later on. Right now, I just got the young kids. I want to be there,
Okay.
because it's a real hard. It's a harder job if you got a family. If
No
your
joke.
kids is not. It's no joke, man. And it depends on your head coach. Depends on, because I've seen it where some head coaches, like Bruce Arians, he used to look down on you if you wasn't at your kids' stuff. He's like,
Yeah.
look, get your work in, but go to that game. Go this. Some coaches, I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing. That's just what in their heart. That's what they feel they can stand on. Some people will be like, hey, they gonna be all right. They seeing dad work and they doing this, and they want to instill in them certain things. I don't knock none of that, but I want to be here with my family. I know we was just looking back at old videos and just like, dang, how much my baby girl and baby boy have grown, because that little voice that, it ain't so little no more. It's all these different conversations now you have with baby girl, and the things they asking you, the questions. It's like, dang, boy, when stuff was so real innocent and simple, I ain't want to miss that. So I'm still not trying to miss that, because I got a 9 and 6 year old. And so that would come later on, if it did, when they get a little older.
I get it. You and I are about the
Mhm.
same age. I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and it's like, listen, man, when they tell you it goes fast, it goes fast. Like,
BG, he just called you
14,
40.
boy.
He just called you. Hey, Jordan's 40 years old. BG's not
I
40
said
yet,
we're
man. Chill out.
about the
Hey,
same age. Easy. I said we're about
Chill.
the same.
we on the way though. Shoot, I'll be 38 April for sure. Man,
Yeah.
but I feel you. I ain't trying to hit it yet. I heard the 40s, you can definitely see the difference, and I can already kind of see a little bit of difference at
It's
37.
it is no joke. All right,
Mhm,
I'll ask you about this. Speaking of ages, so Bryce Underwood comes in as an 18-year-old kid to Michigan this year. He
mhm.
has all the pressure in the world on him. He's thrown a ton of money. What would you have done as an 18-year-old with that much money?
Oh my goodness, man. I ain't gonna say I wouldn't be in the league, but I probably would have probably had the answer to some of the stuff that at the time when I came in, answer to some of the stuff in those interviews, the pre-draft interviews of, well, why'd you do this, or why would you this? because really all it is, man, that money do attract other people. And I'm glad that I didn't go through that early on because people already felt we was already doing good at Michigan because we was at Michigan. But to know that you getting paid, how they getting paid now, man, you got to really have good buffers around you, to where everybody don't get that access to you because everybody now gonna come with them stories and come with them sob stories. And I probably would have gave a little bit more than I should away early on. That's what I do like about it, where people can learn early on before they actually get to the NFL and get the real bag. You
Mhm.
got a good bag to start you off, but if you blow through that, even though you a good talent, it's like at least. All right, I get another chance because I got drafted, and now I know who is who, and now I know who I need to be around, who I don't need to be around, and so I hope for their sake that they paying their taxes, learning as they go, because it's a lot of stuff that you don't know when that tax bill come hit you, and you ain't got that money, because you've been just spending, and you ain't. It's like I hope you learning as you go too, and got good financial people around you that's gonna give you sound advice, because that's the only thing that I got blessed in my senior year to have a guy that's still my best friend to this day. He worked out the business school's name, Danny Silman, and he helped me a whole lot learn how to get set up as like how my owner is set up. Having money to be able to, have later on for my kids, and then being able to have my will and all that stuff done, making sure like if something did happen, this is who is the beneficiary and all that stuff, and this is the person who got power of attorney over this and all that stuff. It's a whole thing, man. So I hope they learning as they go, because I know I would have. Whoo, man, whoo, that boy. Hey, they having fun up there. I could just say that because I went up there for that watch the game, and then to go hang out afterwards. Man, they doing it. They having a good time.
It sounds like you need to be an agent, advising these young boys how to do it right, because you just laid out the perfect plan. Have young
Man, you
people
know what?
around
It's
you.
it's it's crazy because I feel like honestly, like me being back, that's all. Even these last 5 years, that's all I try to do. Especially if I see like a bunch of people that got a bunch of family around. I want you to have your family around, but I hope that you saying more no's than yeses, because most of the time, like now, I don't have as much family around because of the no's. Like you realize, because some people just like they figure, oh, it's a free ride. He always giving, he always doing this, until I say no. Now they mad at me because they think I'm changing, or they say, oh, his wife got him changing. It's like, nah, I'm just grown. I've been knew this about you. I just got tired of, I got tired of feeling like that. I got tired of feeling guilty of something that I mean, we work hard. We work hard for what we doing. And I've
Uh-huh.
seen a lot of guys give it all away, and them same people ain't as comforting either. They talking about you. They going off. So I'd rather somebody talk about me with money that I could leave for my family and be set up nicely than to just be all everybody all happy and thinking they your friend, and even though they family. And sometimes it's just all it's conditional other than unconditional. You know what I'm saying? And you could create a monster too, because I definitely did that early on with some people, and it was kind of hard to kind of switch it up in the beginning, but now, man, I got boundaries. You need boundaries. You need to have your own boundaries for your family. You need to protect them at all costs, and that's what you can blame everything on. Unless I'm feel led to help you.
It's such a good timing because there's actually an article out at foxsports.com today about Bryce Underwood and his connection with all the NIL stuff, and how everybody at the University of Michigan has made sure he is set up perfectly, and kind of his
I love
temperament
that.
and all
Yeah.
those things. And when you go to a place like the University of Michigan, you have a connection to literally every private sector you want to go to. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what you want. There is something at the University of Michigan, or a connection that somebody's going to be able to help you. So if people get time, go check out this article at foxsports.com today. It was a really good one about Bryce, his family, his temperament, and all those kind of things. Because I mean, listen, when you're 18 and you have everybody wanting a piece of you, it's hard. And then, oh yeah, by the way, you still have to go play quarterback at the University
Hmm.
of Michigan and have all the pressure that goes along with that. So, how do you think he's handled it from a football perspective? When you watch him, how good can this kid be?
I really feel like he's putting the work in. I mean, just going back for that little bit on what I did see, it's
Yeah.
like, man, that boy, they work. And then as a team, they do a lot of stuff by themselves where the coaches, like I remember I was in the where was I at? I was in the stadium, and you see them going over like they got the jumbotron on and they going over the plays of what just happened, and then they running through like quick plays, like just like a 5 to 10 play drive. It's really a 5 play drive, and they going down like 2 minute situations, and they doing this on their own without coaches on the field, and it's something that like what's the name, let them run it as a team. It's like, look, y'all know what y'all need to get done. This is what it is. Like when y'all done, close up pretty much and break it down, and then y'all go get dressed and go do whatever it is y'all got to do. But he's treating them like men, man, and I love that Bryce is leading the charge, and I think he's done a great job just from what I saw. And I know that he's putting in the extra work because, I mean, obviously, I know this league. If you getting paid that much money, they definitely gonna be hitting your phone. Come on, y'all. Come on. They gonna give you that extra bump to if he's not already motivated. It's like somebody around you gonna give you that extra bump. Hey, you need to be doing this. This is what the greats doing. If you want to be great, and I think Michigan has that in there. So far so good, man. I think he's gotten better every week and got more comfortable, and I hope that it applies on Saturday.
All right, Worm. You had anything else for BG before we let him go? I'm gonna get a prediction. But
Yeah.
before we let you go, Worm, you got anything else?
Beach, I feel like I asked you this after your first Super Bowl, but like, man, what's it like winning a Super Bowl? Now you got two. Like, what's that
Mhm.
like?
You know what, man? It feels great because I know what it feels like to lose one. But the first one when we won, man, that confetti. One thing I tell you, boy, when you win, that confetti come right out. And that losing team, they barely even can get off the. They ain't
Mm,
even get off the field before they. And that's the worst feeling, boy. Because when we lost to the Chiefs, oh my goodness. Oh man, that so this time around the way we beat the Chiefs, especially because as a D lineman, you know how it is having traction. And that year we had 5 people with double digit sacks that year, and we was out there killing. But that
yeah.
Arizona turf or that grass field they had fed us, it was no good, man. So that one hurt, that one stung. But man, I'm telling you, it's nothing like it, man. Everything that you ever wanted and dreamed about, like, dang, it's in this moment. And you just try to relish in it. Man, the biggest party is in that locker room right after the game. It's like, man, it's like a party, like, man, that's what we was just talking about this other day. Just like, dang, if we can get back to that locker room party, boy, because everything else was cool after the fact too, but it wasn't nothing like that after party, because some of your family might sneak in, all the people sneaking into the party, and man, we smoking cigars, drinking, and the only reason we left out is because everybody done drunk up everything that we had in there, and it was like it's time to go. But man,
Nothing else
it's
to
a
do.
party. It's really a party. We had a great time. If you did get there and lose it, I will recommend going to the party anyway because it was great for us to talk about the game and kind of, it. I felt good other than sitting in a room by yourself. So to have both perspectives of it, it made me appreciate this last one. Hopefully, we see y'all there, and we hope I'm going on another one. But like you say, if we not there, I'm rooting for you, baby, because I want you to
Yes,
feel that.
sir.
I want you to definitely get
I
that because
appreciate that.
that's a great feeling because of the work that you put in, man. You see what you're doing. You know how hard it is, man, and you hopeful, but one person gonna get it this year. One team gonna get it, and that's just how it is. And you hope to have been on the right team, and so that's where it's everything that you wanted to, but it's on to the next that fast. So you better enjoy it while it's here, because man, they don't talk about it as much as you think. Once the season come back, it's about this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, let's get you out of here on this. Michigan, Ohio State, Saturday at noon.
Yep.
What's your prediction?
Prediction, I think it's gonna be one of those 30-24. I'll say that. Like, I think Michigan gonna sneak out and get them one. 30-24. I think it's gonna be a hard fought game. Low scoring game, but we'll pull out in the end. Get us a score to go up, win the game.
I like it. I like it. Listen, we appreciate you doing this. Best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Oh yeah, man. Keep on going. Y'all boys killing it. Hey, Feldman Chevrolet. Hey, come holla at me. I'm looking at y'all. I'm looking at y'all stuff over
Yeah,
there. I
yeah,
say, what you got? You
yeah.
got Woodson,
Woodson
whiskey.
whiskey's on there
I
too.
like it.
Yep.
Cause I'm
Yeah,
just looking because I'm in the podcast stuff too. So
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I love that they got their sponsors, they got their little stuff too, just like me. I'm like, I'm learning. I'm learning as I go too.
I
And
love
so
it.
it's
I
cool.
love it. Listen,
BG,
anytime you want to come back, man, let us know.
I
yeah.
got you. Just beat
BG,
Ohio
yeah.
State, like you say. Yep.
Just I'll say, BG, you're an OG, man. I appreciate you. I've been looking up to you for a long, long time, and it means a lot that you hopped on here. So I appreciate you, man. Go Blue.
Hey, anytime, man. I appreciate you, man. I just love that we got to work out together and do our thing. Love that you took over the torch and is still there grinding, showing them boys what it's
Still.
about. Seeing them throw up and do all that stuff.
Yep.
Cause it's real
Yep.
good work, man. As you know, he really do have us ready for the game. And so, man, and I love Mose because man, he always been there. Every adjustment we needed to make, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it was, he gonna make sure you get that work, and that's what I got much respect for because he prolonged my career a long time, and I'm sure it's gonna be the same for you. And I hope,
Yep.
hopefully, we keep the tradition going of at least one person sticking with it.
Got to.
Yep. But yeah, go
All right.
Thanks,
Birds, and
BG.
I see you soon, boy. Hopefully, we in there together.
Let's do it.
All right, Brandon Graham,
Go
Michigan legend, joining us tonight. That was fun, Worm. And he he just got there's just that charisma about him. Like it doesn't matter what he does, like he's gonna be successful. You can just tell, he's just fun to be around.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was sitting in we call it the academic center. I was maybe like a freshman, and I think BG was back, maybe trying to finish up his degree or something like that, and he was down at the computer just working, and I'm just like staring, like, damn, that's like Brandon Graham. And then years later, you meet him in the NFL. I got to work out with him for 2 off seasons. We trade jerseys. His jersey's up on my wall down in the basement at home, and it's just like
Yeah.
all these like cool like full circle moments. And I watched him as a kid at Michigan, so I don't know. As my life goes on and as my career goes on, like there's all these little weird small things that happen that like, damn, like 10-year-old Worm would like love like to see where you're at, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we're going long tonight. That's just part of it because we really haven't even you and I haven't even broken down the game. So
Yeah, I don't know.
let's just get into it. We'll get through this thing kind of fast. All right. So as we go back to it, we talked about the injuries, the Jeremiah Smith Carnell Tate thing is huge. I think to me it's a major difference maker. Ohio State looks different last week, completely different without those two. I mean, Jesus, they're at 2 NFL receivers, obviously.
Two first round receivers for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a huge difference. I think it looks like Jeremiah Smith is probably going to give it a go for sure. I don't know about Carnell Tate. As a defense, though, how much of a difference does that make when you've got 2 complete game breakers on the outside?
Yeah, I mean, if only one plays, then you can maybe double one of those, or be able to bracket them in some certain way, or be able to roll your defense and coverages more over to that one receiver. But if you got 2, it's like it's hard to double 2 guys. So I know Wink, whatever whoever's playing, he's gonna have a game plan for it. But it's when you have 2 first round NFL receivers, it makes it really tough for defenses to be able to stop.
Yeah, and then the other thing that they add this year, you add a tight end like Max Clare, who's he's as good as anybody in the league, and I think he makes a huge difference. So there's a lot of different things. But I want to talk about this because I thought this was interesting. So I think, to me, Michigan's run game against Ohio State's defense is going to be the biggest thing that's going to make a difference. If Michigan can run the football and control the clock, Michigan can win the game. So I went back and looked at it. So Texas ran for 166 yards against Ohio State. They averaged 4.5 yards per carry against the Buckeyes. After that, Texas has not been able to run the football almost at all against anybody else. Texas ran against Arkansas, averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Against Georgia, they had 17 attempts for 23 yards. Against Mississippi State, they only had 72 total rushing yards. Against Kentucky, only 47. Against Florida, 52 yards. Texas has not been able to run the football like they ran it against Ohio State. So does that mean something for Michigan's run game? Potentially. I think that is where, and especially if it's, I've seen all these Ohio State fans this week. Their big thing is like, oh, Michigan fans are just praying that the weather's bad, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no shit. Like, yes.
Duh.
Like, duh. Like, of course Michigan would rather the weather be crappy. Like, that's what they do.
75 and sunny, no wind. Like, what?
Yeah, like,
no.
Yeah.
You run the ball.
Also,
you can still run the ball in cold weather. The hits hurt more. The tackling hurts more. The turf is frozen. Your fingers are cold. It's like all that plays into Michigan's favor. So like,
yeah, those are all things that and so like I've seen.
Of course, I want it to be cold.
Yeah, no, obviously, like, I mean, that's just duh. Like, and yes, like, so that is a thing that we're looking at and monitoring or whatever. Some of the other things I want to talk about, though, Michigan's young defensive line. So you look at line experience across their front. 4th-year guy, 3rd-year guy, 5th-year guy, 4th-year guy. Edric Houston's the only 2nd-year guy in there. When you look at Michigan's offensive line, though, 3 starters are in their 2nd year, have never played in this game. How much of a difference does that make, having that kind of experience on the defensive line going up against a young Michigan front?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously experience is huge, but I've been really impressed with this Michigan O-line. I know, Sharon and Grant have been putting in a lot of work with those guys, and they're gonna tell them about this game and what it means. And Grant has been there for 10 years now, so he understands what this game is about. He's played in it. He's obviously coached in it now for 9 years because as soon as he got hurt, he went into coaching. So he knows what it's about, and he's going to have those guys ready. They're gonna continue to I think move guys off the ball and create big running lanes for these running backs that they've done the last 3 months of the season.
Okay, so I think the other storyline that I keep reading about, and this thing that everybody on the Ohio State side keeps harping, is Matt Patricia's going to have Bryce Underwood in a blender. Like, oh, he's going to mess with this kid's head. How, in my mind, like, yes, Matt Patricia has had a great year calling the Ohio State defense.
Look at the players they had, though. Of course, they're going to have a good defense.
That's my point. I don't want to misconstrue this. That yes, he's had a great year. He's also coaching really good players. To me, I think it's a disservice to what the players are and how good that team is. Like, this is all Matt Patricia. It's not. Like, that's not the Ohio State has really damn good players, and I think you're doing a disservice to them by saying, "Oh, well, Matt Patricia's going to have Bryce Underwood in a blender." No, what's going to have Bryce Underwood in a blender is Caden Curry coming off the edge. It's Igbinosun. It's Caleb Downs. They've got NFL dudes everywhere. Yeah. That to me is the bigger issue than Bryce Underwood against Matt Patricia.
I think the real matchup is Patricia versus Wink, and I'm taking Wink all day, every day, 16 times on Sunday and Saturday. I'm a Wink guy.
I know you are. I know you are.
I'm taking Wink over Matt Patricia, and I know Matt's had a good year and what he's been able to do in the league and other places he's been, but I think and Wink will tell you this: like, it's the players that make the defense. You can have the greatest scheme in the world, but if your players don't know what they're doing, it's not going to fare too well. But I think that's why they're having success, is because Matt is a good defensive coordinator, but he also has how many future NFL players, how many future first rounders on that defense to help him out. But I know Bryce is excited for this challenge. It's going to obviously be his toughest challenge that he'll see probably until Ohio State next year. They have to have Chip Lindsey and Sharon have to have, I would say, a near flawless plan. I mean, obviously what happened last year was I'm going to say it's a fluke. I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe Ryan Day getting a little tight, but they're going to let it go on both sides of the ball. That team in Columbus. So that our Michigan's offense has to play a really, really well played, coached, executed football game.
No question. Like that's the thing is Michigan has to come out and play a near flawless football game. I think Ohio State can probably make a couple mistakes and still get away with it because they're that good, they're that talented, all those things. But every time somebody says, oh, Matt Patricia against Bryce Underwood, the other thing is like, listen, Julian Sayin hasn't played in this game. Julian Sayin hasn't had to face Wink Martindale. We saw what Wink did last year to Ohio State. And as much as everybody wants to say it was just Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant were the only reason, like, yes, they were the biggest reason.
Great. Yeah, they were great. Yeah,
they were the biggest reason, but also Wink had a pretty damn good scheme against Ohio State. And that takes away. I went back and I was looking at that box score, and I tweeted this out yesterday, and it's like, you go back and you look at that box score from last year, and you look up and down at Ohio State's roster. You've got NFL quarterback Will Howard, who's active right now on the Steelers, 53. Quinshon Judkins starting for the Browns. Travion Henderson starting for the New England Patriots. Carnell Tate is going to be a first-round pick. Emeka Egbuka killing it in the NFL with the Bucs. Yeah. Jeremiah Smith, maybe the greatest Ohio State receiver ever. And Michigan held them to 10 points. So, like, if you want to talk about the Matt Patricia against Bryce Underwood thing, fine. You also have to talk about Wink Martindale against Julian Sayin. I think that is just as big of a storyline.
Yeah, put some respect on Wink's name, man. I've been saying it all year. I don't know. Maybe
I know you have.
I'm going to shut up until the end of this game, and I need Wink to back me up on this. So we'll see what happens. But
go ahead. No, finish.
Yeah, no. I just Wink is going to have a great plan. He had a great plan last year. He's had, really good plans all year, and the boys are peaking at the right time. You look at Derek Moore, who's, like I said in my tweet after the game, he's made himself a lot of money this last month. Barham's coming on. It's gonna be a test for those secondary players, especially the young guys, and those the exciting whites are going to have a hell of a game. So I'm excited.
One other thing is, like, Ernest Hausman, I hope figures things out and is back out on the football field this week. From a selfish standpoint, hope he's good. The other thing I do want to mention about Wink's defense, and I saw this on Zach Smith's podcast, maybe. He noticed it, and I've noticed it all year long. Michigan's rotations, when Derek Moore and Jayshawn Barham are on the field, Michigan's defense is totally different. When you're rotating and those guys are out and they're out, Wink is rotating. They're rotating guys constantly. I hope they kind of chop down on the rotations just a little bit for this one. I think you have to out of necessity in this thing. I want your best guys on the football field the entire time. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. And maybe get those guys, get that rotation started a little earlier. So when that fourth quarter rolls around, it's Barham and Derek Moore, 90% of those snaps in the fourth quarter, because that's when it's going to matter the most.
Yeah.
Get those guys, the rest that they need in the first and second quarter. But once that second half rolls around, you got to let those guys empty the tank, because there's no tomorrow after this game.
Last couple things, and I know we're going to wrap this thing up. When you look at the Ryan Day thing, I think it's probably overplayed a little bit. Ryan Day's a really good football coach. Like, yeah. Let's not. I don't want to be arrogant or stupid. Like, Ryan Day's a really good coach. He's a damn good recruiter, and Ohio State's really freaking good. And everybody that that's crushing him on the mistakes of last year, they look different to me. But I also thought the same thing a year ago. You looked at last year's team, and they've got 2 starting NFL running backs. They've got 3 starting NFL wide receivers. You've got an NFL quarterback. I thought Ohio State's team last year was as good a team as they've had. And then this year they come out and they might be better. Like, it's almost stupid to look at. Like, it's crazy. What does Ryan Day have to do different this year? Is it just as simple as just open it up and go play? Is it that simple?
I mean, maybe that's what BJ and I were talking about earlier in the show, was like, when now that they've lost 4 in a row, when it gets to that third and fourth quarter and it's a close game, and it's like, how do you finish? Finishing games is like, that's a skill.
Yeah.
The Chiefs last year, I think, were 11-0 in one possession games or something crazy like that. So like, how, once you get to the end of the game and you guys are going back and forth, how do you finish the game? Because nobody cares if you win the game by 1 point. As long as you win the game, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to finish. And these last 4 years, Michigan has been able to finish. And maybe that's just that confidence. After that first one, it's like, bam, okay, now we know the recipe. Now we know that if we can just stick with them, they're going to fold. That could be it. That's a mentality. And that's what we had talked about earlier in the show. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Day just has to, if I'm a Buckeye fan, I want Ryan Day to let it loose and use all of his weapons that he has, because they didn't do that a year ago.
I think you're going to know a lot early on. If there's like an Ohio State situation where they have it like 4th and 1 at their own 45, if Ryan Day punts, oh boy, I'm telling you, it happened last year early in the game. If there's an early 4th down and 1 and Ryan Day punts, everybody on that sideline, I'm telling you, everybody on the Ohio State sideline is going to say, what the hell are we doing?
Here we go again.
Exactly. So I think that's one of those like indicators early on. The last thing I want to touch on, so much has been made of Ohio State's schedule. It's been bad. Like it's not any fault of their own. Like it's not Ohio State's fault that Penn State sucks. Like it's not their fault. You looked at that game before the year and we all thought, oh, well, Ohio State, Penn State's going to be great. You thought Texas was going to be better. Texas isn't very good. They're okay. They're fine. They're not, they're not bad. They're fine. But like Ohio State has not been tested since it was real hot out. Like, I mean, we're talking August was the last time Ohio State was even like in a football game past the second quarter. You know what I mean? Like they don't get tested. They blow everybody out. Does that matter at this time of year?
I mean, yeah, it definitely does. It's what we just talked about. Yeah, how do you finish? How do you finish when the game is close? How do you, when it's cold, when you don't want to take another hit, when you've already been hit a bunch of times? How do you get up off of that cold turf? It's all those things matter, and all those things add up in a fourth quarter. Greatest rivalry in sports, all that stuff matters. And the team that can weather that storm, and the team that can roll with the punches and make the fewest mistakes is going to come out on top. And Ohio State hasn't been tested a whole lot. That's the one thing that I said 2 weeks ago when Michigan pulled off that victory against Northwestern. That was a resilient team. They should have lost that game. 5 turnovers, especially that late in the fourth quarter with all that stuff that was happening. They found a way to win. They bounced back, and they were a resilient team that fought. And I mean, it's nice to be 11-0 and not have to look back. Okay, when's the last time we had to actually fight for the game? And that was Texas, the week 1, and that's a great position to be in as well. So I wouldn't be mad that I'm 11-0 and haven't had to really showcase everything, but maybe they forget, maybe they don't know how to finish, and that I think plays in Michigan's favor.
I think if it's a close game into the second half, I think with all of the factors, the 4 in a row, the second guessing, the fact that you haven't been in any tight games, I think all that stuff adds up. The fact that you've got a redshirt freshman quarterback, just a lot of stuff. I think it all adds up potentially. Now, let's wrap up on this. And if you want to make a prediction, make one. That's cool. If you want to just, hey, Michigan can win if this, go with that. But just your final thoughts on the game. If Michigan does what, they can win.
I think if Michigan controls the clock, I think time of possession is going to be huge. The more that offense can stay off the field, Ohio State's, I think that bodes very well for this Michigan team. If Jordan Marshall is healthy, I think that also plays a big factor. and that plays into running the ball and time of possession. But I'll give you a score prediction. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as BG thinks it's going to be. 30-24 seems a little high, especially for what the weather possibly can be, and what I think Michigan's game plan of just trying to bleed the clock out and run the clock out. I'm going to say Michigan 24, Ohio State 23. I think it's going to be close. I think Zavada, maybe has the game-winning kick and silences a lot of haters, a lot of doubters. I'm a doubter for sure, and I think he makes a game-winning kick to send him to the Big Ten championship.
I don't disagree with you. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I thought Ohio State was going to win this game.
I saw the tweets. I saw the texts. I saw what you were saying. I get it.
A couple weeks ago, I didn't feel good about this thing. Going into last year's game, I didn't feel good about it. I don't know why. Maybe I am just naive or stupid, or it could be all of the above, to be honest with you. I think Michigan's going to win the football game, Worm. I do. I'm going 23-20. I don't know why. I think they're going to win the football game. And here's why. It's not because of the weather. It's not because of whatever, all these things. I think Michigan is so physical. And I don't think Ohio State's had to play a team this physical since week 1. And when I look back at week 1, that Texas game that Ohio State played, Arch Manning fumbled once at the goal line. He also had a real shot late in the game down inside the red zone and made a couple horrible choices. Texas could have easily won that football game. Ohio State has not had to play a team outside of Penn State that has the same matchup with them physically, that can match up with them physically. Not one team on that schedule can match up with them the way that Michigan does. I just think, and listen, maybe there's going to be some, all the Buckeye fans might be screen recording this right now to bookmark me and crush me after the game. I think Ohio State's damn good, and they might lose this game, and they could still go win a national championship game. They can easily.
Yep.
It would not shock me in the least.
They did it last year.
Yeah.
They steamrolled that playoff.
And crushed everybody. I just think that Michigan's going to win this football game. I just do. I don't know why. I do know why. I think they're more physical. And that's, to me, in this game, in late November, when everything matters, I think that's the difference. Yep. So that's where I'm going. Where are you going to be watching the game? On a hotel room in Indy? Where are you guys at this weekend?
Yeah, we're home. I'll be watching it on my little Airbnb that I got.
Airbnb.
And, yeah. Watching it with the fam. So going to introduce, I think my oldest is, I don't know if she's actually watched the game or not, but she's going to sit there and watch it, and she's going to enjoy it.
Awesome. I love it. Hey, good luck to you. Who do you guys got this weekend?
Texans.
Houston Texans. All right.
Big division matchup.
Yep.
They're rolling pretty good right now.
They're playing good
and playing good ball. I think C.J. Stroud's back from concussion protocol, so they're getting their starting quarterback back, and we're looking to get a win after losing to the Chiefs last week.
How long until you're on the field?
It's a good question. I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
Okay. Perfect.
We shall see.
Well, enjoy it this weekend. There is nothing like it. It is the greatest rivalry in sports. It is. It makes. I mean, it's the greatest. It's awesome, and I love every single second of it, and I can't wait. So enjoy it, Worm, and we will see you back here next week.
Absolutely. Go Blue.
All right, we'll see you. Go Blue.